All right, guys.
Kredi kartım gelecek.
Well, first and foremost, it's awesome to be here. It's great to see this kind of enthusiasm, and it's great to actually be in a full room. Is exemplary
honestly,
of the Republican Party, right? This is a state, like the party is, that has open schools, open businesses, and open churches. What we've seen in some of the more left-leaning states is exactly the opposite. The only thing that they have open is open borders. And it doesn't work, guys. In the first 30 days of Joe Biden's presidency, all of the things that I said would come true in the book Liberal Privilege that I wrote last summer are happening. We listened to months of media telling us that Joe Biden, he's a moderate, don't worry. He's not going to end energy. He's not going to end pipelines, which is partially correct. He's not going to end Russian pipelines. He's only going to end American pipelines. The Russian ones are just fine. They're going to cave to China. No, that was never going to happen. Of course it happened. You think that billion-dollar investment in Hunter came for free? No, the Chinese...
I'm confused.
The Chinese
is he going to
have
follow
a
that up?
great
Like,
return on investment.
what's he talking about?
But guys, more importantly, who would have thought that within 33 days we'd be bombing the Middle East again?
Wait.
I would have.
Wait.
Oh, no.
Wait, what? Is he anti-bombing the Middle
complex?
East?
I'm surprised it took him 33 days. I guess they waited till the first month, so they couldn't say that was part of the first 30. But it was only shortly thereafter where we started bombing the Middle East. Speaking of bombing the Middle East, have you seen Liz Cheney's poll numbers?
Donald Trump Jr. is upset we bombed the Middle East.
No, listen, the one thing I'll say for Liz Cheney is I'm sure she has a lot of bipartisan support because if there's one thing that she and Joe Biden definitely want to do, it's bomb the Middle East. Everything else is a disaster. Everything else is just rhino policies, the kinds of policies that put the Republican Party in a position where they needed a Donald Trump. No, seriously. Liz Cheney and her politics are only slightly less popular than her father is at a quail hunt. What? Fact checkers, please have at it.
Hold down his empty titles and silence.
Fact check, true. Right? Listen, like I said, Liz Cheney, she hates Donald Trump and his policies because her family has a long history of friendly fire. But she also hates them because she's tied to an establishment that has done nothing but fail us time and time again. You've heard the rhetoric from some of them over the last couple weeks, and now you've seen that change very quickly. Because if there's one thing the Republican Party has been really good at over the last few decades, is snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. They've caved to every special interest. They've caved to corporate America. They've caved and bowed to the radical left that hates their guts, hates their values, and hates their freedoms. Lincoln Project Liz, as I'd like to call her, is the leader of that failed movement. And if we want to go back to losing, if we want to go back to an America Last policy, we should be following that. Okay. But I don't, I don't think anyone in this room does either. So, you know what, guys? The first 30 days has been a disaster. The lies the media told you wouldn't happen are all happening. But hey, at least they have a diverse cabinet. Right? No, yeah, it's very diverse. That's what we saw, right? What is the policy of the SBA? Well, first and foremost, we appointed a woman. Well, that's wonderful. Is she competent? Because there's competent women and there's incompetent women, just like there's competent men and incompetent men. We've seen that. We know that to be a fact. But when you don't have policy to address the incompetence and think you can get away with it by just talking about diversity blindly, it's sort of a problem, isn't it?
You think they're gearing up
This
for the
month-
start of a new Trumpism party?
This month alone, they've banned the Muppets. Right?
What?
I mean, if there's things that you thought were sort of above cancellation, you would be wrong. There is nothing the radical left won't cancel. Hasbro now wants a gender-neutral Mr. Potato Head.
No! We need to stop that from happening!
These are the issues of our times, folks. I mean, if Hasbro really wanted a gender-neutral Mr. Potato Head so badly, they should just slap a picture of CNN's Brian Sletler on the cover of their next potato. What?
We won't.
They don't call him Mr. Potato Head for nothing. I mean, you know, we might as well get something out of the branding. But guys, we can talk about all of these things. We can talk about the liberal hypocrisy, liberal privilege. Just look at how magically, in 33 days, children in cages turned into migrant shelters for children. Now, mind you, nothing actually changed. If you look at the pictures, there's nice bars on the walls. Nothing changed other than the media's outlook. Where is the outrage about this? Where is the outrage about an asinine immigration policy that is encouraging people to bring children, unaccompanied and otherwise, into a country? Guess who
Donald
gets
Trump
hurt?
Jr. got lost in
Our
filthy walk
low-wage
into the
earners,
Comedy
who
Central
for the
roast of
first
Donald
time in
Trump.
modern history under Donald Trump started seeing real wage growth.
We're still pissed about it, Junior.
We see it time and time again. There's a double standard by which we live, but when you look at what's going on, if people were informed of the actual facts, rather than spoon-fed a narrative by big tech and the mainstream media, we wouldn't be in these things. There was a poll that came out just this week that said 1 in 6 people would not have voted for Biden had they known about the Hunter Biden scandal.
5 months.
Where is Hunter?
Dude,
Guys,
this is awesome.
I'm sure he's making billions in China right now. Don't worry.
What?
Don't worry. One in 6, guys, 17% of the 80 million that voted for Joe Biden, had they even heard of the basics of his corruption. We were all talking about it, guys. It wasn't anything new, but that also shouldn't surprise us. We've been talking about Andrew Cuomo sentencing Nana to death for 10 months. But no one was going to talk about it until they got their wishes. No one was.
So wait, COVID is real and it's still malpractice? So COVID is real and
Leave all women until they accuse.
like, why do conservatives make it seem as though like
not so
COVID
much.
was only real in New York under
Guys,
Andrew
that's why
Cuomo's
we have to stay
governorship
engaged.
and
That's why
fake
we have to stay
elsewhere
in the
under
fight.
Donald
That's
Trump's
why we can't allow
presidency?
them to
You know what I mean?
steamroll us like they have done.
Like,
for
you literally
decades.
can't hold on to the position that like
Look at
Andrew
what's
Cuomo is
going
the
on
singular
just this
person
week
who
in Congress.
who COVID was impacted by,
Democrats.
and like every other state with Republican
Michigan.
governors and the entire country, which was
Major
under a
corporations,
Republican
Comcast,
presidency,
Amazon,
was totally
to
fucking
ban
overblowing
conservative
this
news
COVID
outlets.
shit.
Not radical parties. Fox News, Newsmax, OAN, just ban them. You don't see Republicans saying, let's talk about CNN as a place of disinformation. I mean, as a recipient of their ire for a couple of years, I can assure you that they were lying about Russia collusion. We all know that now, but no one actually brings it up because they can get away with it. They are able to do that. Big tech will silence you if you come out against it. They will crush you. They will call you racist and everything else. Just like, imagine, we'll bring back Cuomo, right? Imagine Ron DeSantis did what Cuomo has done over the last couple of years.
Hi, Pappy.
He wouldn't be getting an Emmy. He'd be in jail.
Wait, what?
Right?
He should be in jail.
Credible accusations of harassment swept under the rug. Verbal
Dog, he
harassment,
literally sicked
hiding evidence
the
from
police
DOJ
force
swept under the rug.
on
No
a
problem.
fucking
Give him an Emmy.
whistleblowing epidemiologist. What the fuck is he saying?
Remember Fredo when he was talking about it? Oh, for months. Oh, where's Fredo? He's so quiet these days. Why isn't Fredo talking about these things right now?
All right, I will not stand
Again,
for
liberal
this.
brothers, no, we can't address that. Really,
I'm sick of
you
fucking
can't
dying
address
of
that,
this
but you had
bullshit.
no problem
Fuck this
joking
Fredophobia,
around with
dude.
massive Q-tips,
Model.
making clowns of yourselves for months prior.
Italiaphobia is
That's
where I
what we're
fucking
up
draw the
against,
line
folks.
over here.
But together, we can win these fights. We have to be vocal. We can't be put in the corner.
God,
We
Junior,
must
you just
be
gobbled your
out
last
and
fucking goal,
engaged.
motherfucker.
And that's where you guys come in. So
Hassle, hassle, hassle.
I'm looking forward to Sunday. I imagine it will not be what we call a low-energy speech. And I assure you that it will solidify Donald Trump and all of your feelings about the MAGA movement as the future of the Republican Party. So thank you, Cpac. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the love. You guys are the best.
I haven't seen a potato have this much.
This is the worst, dude. It's so fucking bad. It's so fucking bad. That was so bad. Yikes, dude. All right, what was the bet? What was the bet on? Mods, I didn't even...
3 months of great content. Thanks, Habibi.
It would be awesome if Trump falls over mid-speech and the plan for the whole party is gone. There is no plan for the whole party. If Trump went away, it would be better for the Republicans overall. What the fuck is this?
Matters. I could go through life and I could live in the comforts of life and I could go on for 80 years and then make money, do the formula of life. Then I'll just fall to ashes.
To have that burden lifted off of my soul is, I've never felt happier. When I'm coming and explaining what Google was doing, this is an act of atonement.
Oh my God.
To make my conscience clear.
I think the big problem that we have today is there's an ambiguity about whether tech is neutral or whether it's biased.
I saw things going on that I personally found to be troubling. And so I felt that.
Wait, what the fuck? Oh, they ended it.
Off of your entire order.
Oh my God, they're still running Mike Pillow ads. Okay, let's go back to the fucking... Okay, so Cpac Day 1 has ended. Let's watch some of the other stuff that we missed out on.
For the first time ever, Cpac is not in our nation's capital.
Also, before I continue on with some of the highlights of Cpac... Oh God, Jesus fucking Christ. Before I continue on with the other Cpac highlights and then moving on from this to some other shit that's going on, because there's a lot going on. Wait, what the fuck's going on? Why are people saying to Guatemala? Are we getting raided again? It's top of the hour every hour. It's time for a 6-second ad break. Sorry for the Turks who are coming in now, but I have to fucking run an ad. Actually, Turks don't even see the ads, so they're not going to have a hard time with this regardless. Anyway, it's top of the fucking hour every hour. It's time for a 6-second ad break. I already ran it. If you no longer want to see the ads, though, you can, subscribe with your Twitch Prime. Why am I saying this? I don't know, because you're not going to see it. Let's continue on. If there is a raid or not, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But boys, if you're coming in from a raid, Türkler, we are currently covering the Cpac in America, in Florida, where conservatives gather once a year and talk about their plans and how fucking psychopathic they are. Maybe pre-raiders? Yeah, it could be. Throws betting ticket on the ground angrily. Damn, Hillary, good for nothing. Wait, predicted gray? You can predict gray?
That's because they won't let us anywhere near a nation's capital. Think about it. Even though cases are plummeting and vaccination rates are surging, we are still banned from getting anywhere near our nation's capital.
What? I didn't even understand that. This one doesn't even make sense. Oh, gray law. That means you lost. Loser grays. Lol. Imagine being fucking gray, dude. Wait, where is Thomas Cotton?
Although something is a little different this year.
Pogo.
You know, for the first time ever, Cpac is not in our nation's capital. That's because they won't let us anywhere near our nation's capital. Think about it. Even though cases are plummeting and vaccination rates are surging, we are still banned from getting anywhere near our nation's capital. Although something is a little different.
Yeah, I wonder why, dude.
This year.
What do you think is going on? Like, you think it's like anti-conservative sentiment, or you think there's like a pandemic going on? Is he also surprised that there are people that are wearing masks right now in that hall? Like what is his justification for that? I wonder what's happening. What could be happening that would cause so many people to take precautions?
So I wrote an op-ed in the New York Times. It had a very simple message.
I mean, the real reason why Cpac's not in DC is not because of the fucking insurrection. It's because of the pandemic, guys. They needed to go to a state where they could host a massive event indoors that would allow them to do it. And Florida, of course, is the libertarian paradise. So that's why they did it. It's not because they were worried that these 75-year-old dipshits were going to go and cause a commotion. No, that's not the reason.
Very simple, very common sense message, grounded in American history and law, supported by a majority of Americans, arguing very simply. If the police
I have to pee.
Cannot, or especially if they are not allowed to restore order, then it is time to send in the troops. And what happened next?
Thanks for
Total meltdown with the little social justice warriors at the New York Times. All these children that have been marinated in the language of the campus seminar room. They said things like, "Your words put my life at risk." As if typing on their phone, sitting on their futons, was as dangerous as being a cop trying to stop rioters in the streets. Or "Your words are violence." No, I'm sorry, kiddo. Words are words. Violence is what your friends are doing out on the streets of America.
Arjan? Pogo?
Guys, words can never incite violence. Okay, hold on. Words can never incite violence unless it's like Maxine Waters saying, we must fight, we must make politicians uncomfortable by holding them accountable. In which case, every murder that happens in the next 4-year window is directly attributed to Maxine Waters. That's how it works, okay? If you don't know how this works, then I'm not going to explain it to you. Sorry. Oh, this one was really good, too.
Did I say
Senator Martha Blackburn shocked that the leader of the free world could be fact-checked.
hands going up? We all lived through it in this election, didn't we? I've been through it, too, but nobody has been hit by this like President Donald Trump. First, they decided they were going to fact-check him, the leader of the free world. And then they were going to...
Yeah. Everybody knows that, conservatives love freedom. And freedom means, making sure that the president is a fucking horrific tyrant that is above the laws. That's what the founding fathers literally wanted.
Block him. Send a message. And then they were going to temporarily ban him. Then they were going to permanently ban him from Facebook and Twitter. the leader of the free world. Third, I say
The leader of the free world, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine? What is this?
So I come bearing great news. I just got word while you've been in here that Mitt Romney has been banned from Twitter. I got bad news. It was only his fake account. It's not his real one. Just his fake account. My bad. My bad. We are under attack.
Yikes! Okay, let me just say something. Okay, there is no better fucking example of, like, if you're bombing, say some shit to the fucking hogs that they will respond positively to than what we just saw. So he thought that that was a good fucking joke. No one laughed. Immediately he moved on. We are under attack. It's literally like, it's just, that's the perfect recipe for conservatism. Oh, are you being, are you bombing? Liberals do it too, where they're like, orange man bad is the liberal equivalent of this. Seems like a lot of conservative voices are being silenced by literal other fucking conservatives who refuse to laugh at my really shitty jokes that are delivered like a goddamn fucking piece of Wonder Bread toast.
Look out, Mr. Potato Head. You're next. I'm sorry. I think now he's going by Potato X. Can't be Mr. Potato. And see, to me, the whole concept of the Mr. Potato Head was you could move the parts around. I mean, Mr. Potato Head was America's first transgender doll, and even he got canceled. Look out, Mr. Potato Head. You're next. I'm sorry. I think now Granny out of the COVID ward at the hospital. Meanwhile, they were stripping Granny out of the COVID ward at the hospital and tossing her in the nursing home, just enough time to infect everybody and then go back to the hospital so that deaths could be recategorized for politics. Meanwhile, they were stripping Granny out of the COVID ward at the
Jesus Christ. Matt Gaetz defends Ted Cruz's Cancun vacation was whataboutism.
It was awful the way the media treated. Now, speaking of all this bias, it was awful the way the media treated Ted Cruz. I mean, the left and the media were more worried about Ted Cruz going to Mexico to spend his own money than they are about the caravans coming through Mexico to take ours.
Wow. I'm at a loss for words, guys. I think this is
LOL.
I don't know what to say about what we are seeing in front of our eyes. This is like nuclear grade cringe. Other nations should invade us immediately. Put an end to this. These are war crime equivalents of humor. I mean, this is yellow cake. This is weapons of mass destruction. This is peak cringe.
Why is
the Iranian nuclearization program should accelerate after hearing these jokes. I don't know where. Like, we have enriched nuclear grade cringe here. Okay? This is
Matt Gripes.
Holy fuck. I used to be an advocate of freedom of speech. I no longer am an advocate for freedom of speech. I think that these people should go to jail immediately. That's it. That's conservatives say, liberals killed comedy all the fucking time, but also this is what conservatives do. Holy shit.
Hunter Biden's laptop.
Maybe you find something you care about as much as losing a few Twitter followers. Oh, this is pretty funny.
Obviously, how many people here have lost followers on social media recently?
Oh.
How many have lost 10,000 plus followers on social media? I know both KT and I have experienced that when the purge happened on Twitter. And the same thing happens on Facebook. Well,
permanently posting their own L's and conservatives, making their own permanently self-posting their own fucking L's and making it a political position to advocate for, and conservatism is probably the greatest duo that we are seeing at Cpac and will forever see from conservatives. Oh, I lost all my followers.
Marcus from the Federalist. When are you guys going to start covering Cuomo?
Conducting an interview.
When are you guys going to start covering Cuomo?
We do.
No, I'm asking you a serious question.
We do, but David,
no,
we
you
do
don't.
cover
No,
that.
you don't. No, you don't.
We do. We have
no, you
done.
don't. He killed 10,000 people, and he's accused of.
Okay, but then Donald Trump killed 450,000 or 500 almost. Like, I'm so confused. Like, okay, Cuomo and his attempts to deal with the pandemic were dog shit. No disagreement there. Okay, the fact that liberal media like gave him not only a pass but celebrated him as a hero. He wrote a fucking book about his awful way of dealing with the pandemic was bullshit. No disagreements there. I've been criticizing Cuomo before it was even fashionable to fucking promote Andrew Cuomo, okay? But they did cover Cuomo, and they are covering Cuomo. Not only that, but the real shit that conservatives should be upset about, the real thing that conservatives should be upset about in regards to the Cuomo coverage is the fact that the actual problems within Cuomo's governance stems from the fact that he implemented austerity measures in the state of New York, which led to eradicating Medicaid funds, which then in turn led to underserved hospitals shutting down in rural areas in New York and also in impoverished neighborhoods in New York, like the famous hospital in the Bronx. Okay? So that's the real fucking reason why you should be shitting on Cuomo beyond the other malpractice or beyond the other instances of negligence that led to thousands of people dying. The famous hospital law. I mean, what is it called? Was it Greensboro? Hospitals that serve poorer neighborhoods and poorer communities were completely fucking devastated even before an increase. Or it was Elmhurst. Yeah, it was Elmhurst Hospital, I think. It wasn't Greensboro. The one in Queens. Hospitals that serve black and brown communities or poor communities got shafted even before COVID.
Pogman.
Okay.
Worth the 12 months.
Black equals poor, lol W. Yes, black and brown communities are unfortunately statistically less served communities. This is a reality in America. Welcome. Welcome to reality in America. There's a reason for that. There's a structural inequality there. That's what it is. Welcome to systemic racism in America. Anyway. Okay. Just found out about systemic racism. Yeah. I don't buy any of it. Alex Jones calls out Lady Gaga's dogs being stolen by a false flag meant to draw attention from the Oreo packaging that he suggests is satanic.
Lady Gaga with no evidence. You know, the big singer up there in her little hunger.
No evidence? There's a literal video of her fucking hairstylist / like dog watcher getting shot and screaming.
4 months spoggers.
Like there's literally a fucking... They caught them in 4K. What the fuck? There is nothing... Like, there's hospital records, and there's also a video. What the fuck? That video is horrifying, yeah. I'm so confused.
Outfit with a Mockingjay and all of it. Saying maybe it was Trump supporters that shot the dog walker and stole her 2 pugs in the nightmare crime land of
conservatives in like the early 2000 era and before that would use this as an opportunity to say black people are bad, right? They would be like, despite, I don't know if the fucking people who kidnapped the dog nappers were black or not, but they would still immediately be like, oh, it's illegal aliens or, you know, black people that are doing this. Now they've moved on from the regular fucking racist agitprop that they would engage in to move to the next level, which is, oh no, actually the video is fucking fake, and also everything is fucking fake, and they're actually doing this as a psyop to misdirect from Oreo cookies being coming out against transphobia.
Of Los Angeles are her two French bulldogs. So this is all just super out of control creepazoid, and I don't buy any of it. And I've said over and over again, I would look for false flags to happen. LA's so dangerous, it's probably just thugs or criminals. You know, doing a dog.
Oh, never mind, guys, never mind. Yeah, no, they did that already. Okay, yeah, there it is. There it is. I was shocked. I was like, I'm surprised that he's not using this as an opportunity to say it's like illegal immigrants or black people.
Dog jacking operation. But when you look at all the sick stuff that she's into,
like Oreos,
and all the weird spirit cooking and all the occultism and the rest of it, I would say, is this a false flag to give her attention, to make her look like a victim, and to get major news coverage of the stupid Oreo cookies that do have one of the international symbols of pedophilia on the cookies? And if you didn't have her promoting pedophilia and spirit cooking and things, I'd say, well, that's not the case. But this is Lady Gaga.
No, dog. He's not saying that this is a false flag, dumbass. Don't ever say I hate to defend Alex Jones, but he's not saying there's no evidence that they're Trump supporters. No, he literally is saying that it's probably a false flag to get attention to Lady Gaga, as in it was like a staged kidnapping, and it didn't fucking really happen, dumbass. He's then tying it back to racist agitprop, which is why he said it could be real, and it could just be like real black people doing this, real thugs doing this, or illegal immigrants doing this. But it's probably a false flag to promote fucking Oreo cookies. So don't ever say, I hate to defend Alex Jones, because Alex Jones is the one person that does not need your defense.
Oreos, and if you look at the symbol on it, it is what the FBI says is the particular symbol of the pedophile network, meaning you like little girls. That's a symbol for liking little girls, and there's one for liking little boys. And I've got a whole stack of pedophilia news that we're going to be.
I got a whole stack of pedophilia news. Interesting.
Getting coming up in the next hour. The article.
Who the fuck is like, oh, sick, dude. Oh, thank God. Alex is really popping off today. He's got a whole stack of pedophilia news. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to listen to a whole stack of pedophilia news today.
Infowars.com.
You know what I mean? You're like making your hot testosterone coffee with alpha brain pills, supplement stacks. And then, you know, you turn on your Alex Jones broadcast for Infowars.com, Infowars, and he tells you he's got a whole stack of pedophilia news, and you say, great day to be an American. Going to learn a lot about what the pedophiles are up to.
Let me ask you, I'm going to read some of the comments probably on air. Do Lady Gaga-themed Oreos contain pedophilia symbolism? That's what Reddit and Twitter and others are saying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a spitting image.
The girl lover logo depicted in a small heart surrounded by a larger heart would symbolize a relationship with an adult, male or female, and minor girl. Glogo. Ladies and gentlemen, we we went to the brain trust over at Reddit, and you know Reddit never has the capacity to do wrong. They got together and they gave us their gold. Ladies and gentlemen, the Reddit gold is out there. The Reddit detectives are out there. The truth is out there if you want to know more about it.
Of the international pedophile symbol that you like little girls. And then she's out there promoting all sorts of sick sexualization of children and at parties with drinking blood out of vats and all the rest of it involved in all this occultism. And so all of that is real. What they distracted off into was a pizza place that didn't have a dungeon where this wasn't going on, to then discredit all the real news coming out about the occultism that was unfolding.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've learned that Al-Qaeda Sounds a lot like Al Qaeda. It's actually an international sex ring. They have the same logo as the International Criminal Pedophile Organization I told you about.
For the endless hours of
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to issue a rare trigger warning right now, folks. It's what you're about to see might be disturbing. Yes, brother, here it is, Al Qaeda. Sounds a lot like Al Qaeda to me. Yeah. Are they serving up ice cream or serving up kids? You decide. The international sex traffickers, folks, they're operating. They're in operation. Yep. There it is. And I've come to find out that cornetto is actually a code for different forms of children. You got magnums. They're talking about different ethnicities and different backgrounds of children. I got evidence right here, folks. Yep. I don't get how conservatives are so vocal about being anti-pedophilia, yet they support Trump. Literally zero logic. Yes, if your fourth grader is drawing a heart on a piece of paper, immediately tactically ascertain and send them to a gay conversion therapy camp. Sponsored by AlexJones.com, Infowars.com.
And taking place. And that's what this is all about. 110%.
Yeah. Folks, the reason why they banned Kinder Surprise in America is because the surprise was pedophilia.
4 months, Pogo.
Surprise! We're kidnapping you. Cpac shape, stage shape, Nazi imagery. Holy shit. What the fuck? What? This image is used by the National Socialist government of Germany as an organization closely associated. What? I don't know about that. Like, I think these guys are too dumb to be fucking engaging in like occult symbolism. Okay. I love that we went from Alex Jones to like the liberal version of this, dude. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, thank you. I'm glad that was a great segue into the Reach. Oh.
Alex Jones in no pixel, please, dear God.
Like these motherfuckers run around literally being like every immigrant is they run around saying every immigrant is dirty and we need to wash them. And then liberals are like, well, did you see the runes that resemble Nordic runes, which is occult symbolism from the Nazis? Like, dog, they're literally saying it out loud with their mouths. Like, why are you looking further than that? Like, what more do you need to know than them being like, no, like immigrant children deserve to be detained and it was okay. And liberals liked it when Obama did it, but they hate it when we do it because they're fucking, partisan hacks or whatever. How much are you being paid to play defense for pedophiles, or are you Turkish brother? That was the same exact reasoning as Alex Jones? No, that's the other thing that I get mad about is like, oh, occult symbolism is all around, right? Like Alex Jones says shit like that. It's like, dog, like why would they do that when they could just like operate within the circles of billionaires? Like they don't need to, billionaires don't need to order children off of fucking Wayfair, dumbass. Okay? You're fucking stupid. Okay. Billionaires, when they want to engage in pedophilia, they just fly out to the fucking Dominican Republic, okay? They don't actually literally fucking do it at the basement of a pizza shop in DC. Moron.
I'm getting thick.
Why would they let you know? Yeah, like Rush Limbaugh. Thank you, TRTY00 for the 20 gifted subs. Anyway, my dad has literally said he doesn't give a damn about Mexican children as long as American children are still being aborted. What? They underserved poor communities because of Democrats' control. You know, there are a lot more people of color who are conservative, and you're painting them as hick with an accent. My legal immigrant wife loves Trump and hates illegal aliens. Okay, well then your legal immigrant wife is a fucking dumbass, okay? Just like you are if you are also a fucking conservative. And you should be excited that I'm just painting it as a hick accent because it's kind of funny instead of like, I don't know, figuring out what your dumbass legal immigrant wife's stupid fucking accent is so I can mimic that. What do you think? I'm going to... What do you think? Just because your fucking wife is a immigrant, I'm gonna put the fucking kitty gloves on, you little bitch, you pathetic little conservative bitch. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, nice kicking of the ladder there, jackass. Fuck you and your stupid fucking wife. Coming into my fucking broadcast and telling me about my legal immigrant wife hates illegal immigrants. Okay, sick, dude. I'm glad that she was, you know, rich enough to come from a fucking affluent background or lucky enough to win the lottery of being able to immigrate into the U.S. legally so she could fucking stand on her goddamn high horse and shit on all these other people who are coming from horrific backgrounds to seek a better future for themselves and their fucking children. I'm glad that your wife is a dumb fuck and you are a dumb fuck as well, you scumbag. Also coming to me and saying this is also ironic because I've only lived in the United States since I was fucking 18 years old. I'm not going to be done with this, okay? If you come in here and like talk about fucking legal immigration versus illegal immigration from your position of affluence and prominence, I'm going to fucking shove those words directly down your throat until they come out of your fucking asshole. Also, your wife probably has a fucking a boyfriend too. I'm just letting you know. You can use your wife's boyfriend's Amazon Prime account to connect to your Twitch account and give me a fucking free Twitch Prime if you really want to trigger him.
Has mods.
I get the vibe that you don't like conservatives. What? Where would you get that idea? How did you arrive at that idea?
Fatality.
That's so wild. Did I say something that would lead you to that point of view? Or like what? Is it something I said? My wife is a legal immigrant. Oh my god, it's so fucking stupid. What a pathetic loser. Okay. It's time to talk about Biden's actions that are an absolute necessity in Syria. You know, the same actions that Donald Trump Jr. criticized because Joseph Robinette Biden and his Democratic liberal administration beat his father's record. Well, not really. His father's record in Syria, at least, by 1 month. But not his father's bombing record in general, because his father has bombed more than Obama did even. So let's take a look at why Democrats have to do bombings sweaty.
President Biden ordering military action for the first time since taking office, launching airstrikes against militia groups in Syria that are backed by Iran. Our chief global affairs anchor Martha Raddatz has the latest. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, George. This was the first military strike of the Biden administration, payback for a recent attack in Iraq that left several American contractors and a U.S. service member wounded and at least one contractor working for the U.S. dead.
Don't ask the question as to why they're still there. Do not ask the question as to why this is happening literally in the midst of the Munich conference that was supposed to come to a final conclusion on whether or not we are going to remove sanctions from Iran and reintegrate the denuclearization agreement. No questions on that. Suspicious timing on it completely.
Love you, Hank.
Okay.
Thanks for making life better.
And you know, let's just go on with the warmongering agitation that this is payback and it's actually legitimate. And the reason why we did this is because they attacked first. And now we can continue escalating tensions with Iran and continue bombing the fuck out of the Middle East.
The U.S. military launched 2 warplanes into eastern Syria near the Iraqi border on the orders of President Biden, who sources say chose the least lethal option, targeting a cluster of buildings used by Iranian-backed militias at a border control point, the same Iranian-linked militias believed to be responsible for the attack on a coalition base in Iraq early last week.
We know what we hit, and we're confident that that target was being used by the same Shia militia that conducted the strikes.
Those militia rocket strikes slamming into that coalition base in Erbil, Iraq last week, where U.S. soldiers and contractors were housed. You can see those burned out bunks, the fire destroying the structures. The same Iranian-backed militias have launched rocket attacks against the U.S. embassy in Baghdad and the so-called green zone surrounding it. An official telling ABC News that the retaliatory strikes by the U.S. could have resulted in a handful of casualties. The Pentagon spokesman saying that the strike was proportional and that President Biden will act to protect American and coalition personnel, but added, at the same time, we have acted in a deliberate manner that aims to de-escalate the overall situation.
Here is, of course, the very same Jen Psaki in 2017 talking about attacking Syria. What is the legal authority for strikes? Assad is a brutal dictator, but Syria is a sovereign country. Very interesting that she is now defending those exact same fucking strikes because now it's being done by a liberal administration. Obviously, then it's fucking all right. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. There is nothing wrong here. It's okay when Democrats do it. It's not okay when Republicans do it. What? What is your opinion on Iraqi and Syrian agents infiltrating American culture to create anti-war and anti-interventionist sentiment of the country? ABC reports. Emma Watson beatbox for Lin-Manuel Miranda gender equality rap. You know what? Fuck it. Gorbachev wanted you to watch this, so you're gonna fucking watch it.
Perfect. Yo, it's Lynn, and I have to laugh. How can we not be equal? We're like half. Like women are like half of the people on Earth. And yes, they should have been equal since birth. That means all day, every day, equal pay, every way. Okay, are we really okay? Oh my gosh. Yo, this beatboxing is fantastic. Beasts, where to find them. Yo, I'm drastically changing the narrative. Look at it. You kept going. And oh my gosh.
Okay, you know how they say, like, be less white? Like, you know how liberals fucking sometimes say, like, cringe shit like that? I am saying that unironically here, okay? This is the correct application of be less white, okay?
I love watching this keep flowing. Holy cow. This is such a meme. Thank you. This is the Beatbox Dream Team.
I love Emma Watson, even after that. Holy shit. I can't. I'm such a fucking. I'm a simp. Okay, that's just the reality. All right, that's payback for not watching SNL for the week. So anyway, Biden committed to the $15 minimum wage says. Oh, and then this is what we were going to talk about as well. We jumped the gun on talking about the $15 minimum wage conversation, which has been really fucking triggering. Because liberals are fucking lying about the actions that they can take, the fight that they are engaging in. We are going to be covering all of this right now. Let's get started.
The need is great, the opportunity is there, and the precision of this legislation to directly address the needs of the American people, the lives of the American people, and the livelihood.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi yesterday on President Biden's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief bill, which is set to be voted on today in the House. Joining us now, Director of the White House National Economic Council, Brian Deese. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Brian, thank you for being with us. I'm sure you've heard it. Most Republican economists, a lot of Democratic economists, including Larry Summers, fear that this bill may be too big, too much relief, and could cause inflationary pressures and add unnecessarily to the national debt. What's your response to those criticisms?
This is literally a lie, by the way, and that's how you manufacture consent. We have two different instances where the media apparatus that is supposedly liberal are immediately dunking on an issue that would hurt business owners and their profit margins, okay? It wouldn't actually hurt businesses. It would just simply hurt the gigantic multinational corporation profit margins in the United States of America. That's the only area where there is going to be a little bit of a scale back so that the wealth can trickle down for once back to the actual workers that generate the value. One was American imperialism in the form of continuing our saber rattling with Iran, a foreign adversary. Notice how the liberal institutions immediately justified actions that we are taking against Iran in fucking Syria because, you know, they deserve it. And the same exact concept works right here as well. These are ideas where there is bipartisan consensus by those in positions of power, both within the Democratic Party and also in the Republican Party. And I mean the constituencies, the real constituencies, not the average voter and their legitimate interest or their legitimate benefits that they will get out of this, but the actual constituencies, which are big businesses and small business tyrants alike. Okay? So that is precisely why you see this kind of coverage when we're talking about the $15 minimum wage increase. There is no consensus among economists that a $15 minimum wage increase by 2025 that is adjusted to each individual state and adjusted for small businesses under the purview of their own governance inside of their own states is going to destroy the American economy. As a matter of fact, the conservative congressional budget estimates show that there is this increase of $15 minimum wage is going to improve the economy, lifting millions of people out of poverty, despite the fact that in that same report you will see that a couple million jobs may have the capacity to be lost. Why will some of those jobs be lost? Because people will have more money so they don't have to work fucking 2 jobs. Okay? You understand? Regardless of how many jobs might be fucking lost, there is going to be millions of people lifted out of poverty. That means more disposable income for those people so that small businesses can fucking thrive because they finally have enough money to go out and buy shit. Okay? So, having said all of that, and the fact that the overwhelming majority, I would say, are either conflicted on the many benefits or the many or the potential negative consequences of increasing the minimum wage, this kind of certainty within this rhetoric, and including like fucking Larry Summers, this singular individual who made waves in after his Politico article because of how singularly he was standing in opposition to the $15 minimum wage increase, all of a sudden is the leading economist on the subject. It's fucking bullshit, okay? That's why the media is currently operating as it's supposed to, normalizing the position that the cruelty that you are subjected to as a working class individual in America, as a working poor, is normal, because the alternative is that the economy would fucking fall apart. It's bullshit. And the reality, unfortunately, is that the Democratic Party, or at least those in control of the Democratic Party at the moment, are not interested in pushing for the $15 minimum wage. They were interested in it as far as it took them when they were campaigning, but they're not necessarily actually interested in this. And that's precisely why they've decided to cave at the end of the line when we're so fucking close.
Well, good morning, Joe. Look, first, our assessment of the economic situation is that we are at a very precarious.
What a fucking pathetic display. What a fucking pathetic situation that we have found ourselves in as Americans. Do you understand? As Americans, that me saying the minimum wage should be livable is actually me being a communist. Do you understand? Like, Americans look to someone saying that living wages are a necessity, okay? Like, that we should have actual living wages. They look to someone who says that, and they turn around and say, you are a fucking actual communist. It's like literally the meme that people engage in. Oh, you want healthcare? You must be a communist? Like, yeah, literally. Like, these people actually believe it. It's so pathetic. It's so stupid. It's so fucking sad.
Precarious moment. Certainly, we're all hopeful. But if you take a stock today, we are 10 million jobs down from where we were when we started this pandemic. We've got historic crises in terms of hunger and homelessness in this country. And as we look at the economic forecasts and data going forward, what we see is without decisive action, it's going to be years before we get back to a strong and healthy labor market. So we think that this is a moment where the risk of doing too little really still is outweighed by the risk of doing too much. And that's what's behind this plan. And I would say that if you look at the most economists would agree with that assessment. And then we have to go to the particulars of the plan, where getting shots in people's arms, getting schools open, getting relief out to families and small businesses, we think is all a sensible and, in fact, urgently needed priority.
So I'm sure you...
The risk of doing too much in that instance is increasing the minimum wage. That's what he's saying. Like, Larry Summers and his, like, relentless crusade against increasing the minimum wage, or all of these like fucking small business and big business advocates claiming that a increase in the minimum wage is going to devastate the economy. That's the risk, okay? The risk is that this will destroy the economy. This will destroy jobs, blah, blah, blah. It's all fucking bullshit, okay? This kind of reactionary fear-mongering occurs all around the world, but especially in America, all around the United States. Whenever a place democratically decides to increase their minimum wage, there is always a litany of economists who get together and act like this is going to destroy the economy. It didn't happen in fucking Seattle. It's not going to happen in Florida, who democratically voted to increase their minimum wage to $15. And it certainly did not happen to Amazon, who already was forced by Bernie Sanders and other activists to increase their wages to $15 as a minimum wage across the board. It didn't happen to fucking Costco. It didn't happen to fucking Trader Joe's. It didn't happen to fucking Starbucks. So all of these people are fucking pathetic with their lies. It's bullshit. It didn't even increase the price of commodities for most of these places. Okay? Whew.
We've heard several weeks ago the Congressional Budget Office projected that the economy was going to grow by 3.75% in 2021, even if there were no relief packages coming from the Hill and the White House. That being said, that's fairly healthy growth. Why do we, given that, why do we still need to have a $1.9 trillion bill instead of saying maybe half of that?
Because we're in a historic economic hole. This pandemic has hit the economy and put us in a place where that same CBO report said that if we do nothing, it will take until the end of 2024 or 2025 to get back to pre-pandemic employment levels. And from our perspective...
Bro, they fucking hate the poor, dude. That's just it, okay? All of these motherfuckers just literally hate working class people. And no wonder Republicans abuse and weaponize the kind of disdain that you feel for liberal institutions, because you hear shit like this and it's permanently stapled in the back of your mind that these guys just don't like you and they don't like your way of life, okay? So Republicans can very easily turn around and weaponize that against like cultural issues and say they don't like you because you're transphobic, and you're not transphobic, you're actually applying common sense, because of course there's two genders, because that's all you've learned your entire life. And they're so good at being able to just fucking take the genuine disdain that liberals, Democrats, Republicans alike feel against the working class in this country, and turn it into a weaponized racial agitative propaganda to vote for one fucking party. Learned, it's a fact. Really? It's a fact? What do you mean? What's a fact? Explain to me what's a fact. Please tell me how the binary fucking concept of gender is actually not our social learning, and that's why we have such a rigid and outdated understanding of gender, especially when literally academia disagrees with you on this issue. And so do fucking biologists, by the way. Don't even try to fucking do that like I have. I listened to one reactionary biologist. Even biological sex is not fucking binary.
Hassle.
Oh, Lord, okay, there are blah, 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 Q genders and horse gender is real. That's so funny that, again, when you are shoved into a fucking proverbial locker, okay, intellectually by a dumbass himbo like myself, you immediately resort to, oh, they actually attack helicopter. It's so fucking stupid.